Castleford tonight at rain-soaked Odsall. The Stones Bidder Championship trophy is beginning to drift away from Bradford. Before Easter, they were odds-on favourites to lift their first title since '81. At Halifax on Good Friday, John Bentley and company had other ideas. On Easter Monday, Hull came to Odsall, and despite scoring 7 tries to 6, Northern lost again. Danny Devey's run, Richard Gay's try, causing irreparable damage to their chances. Peter Fox can only sit now and wonder what might have been, but he won't be giving up yet. Paul Newlove was the key to his assault on the championship, and Newlove has developed into one of the best in the world, as Northern have pushed Wigan all the way. Castleford boasts the leading try scorer in the game. St John Ellis has scored 34 times, one more for a club record. Kiwi Tawera Nikau has played in all but one of Castleford's games this season, a tall, classy loose forward. Last December, Bradford scored a fine win at Cass. They're now in line for their first league double over them in 11 years. Bradford meet Wigan twice next week, matches that will decide the title. The champions hit the top of the table last night with the destruction of Halifax. Martin Afire sailing in for 3 tries. That one was good, this was even better. Andy Farrell and Frano Botica linking well. It was quite a run from the 18-year-old, and Afire finished it off in style. Wigan on top of the table for the first time this year. The champions then hit the front with 2 weeks to go. Bradford's relentless chase goes on. They must win tonight, otherwise their challenge will be dead. Castleford have eyes on the runners-up spot. Now, Simon Fox is a Bradford Northern fanatic. His motorway road sweeper holds 2,000 gallons of water. It was sucking the excess water off Odsall for 2 hours earlier on today at the rate of 20 gallons a minute. The match referee is David Campbell from Widnes. 39 years old, he refereed the Regal Trophy final that, of course, Castleford won against Wigan. It's the top match of the weekend from the Stones Bidder Championship. It's Bradford Northern against Castleford, and Bradford in possession with Paul Dixon. They know that they have to win here tonight. It's as simple as that. Tricky conditions underfoot. Good drive coming in here from Adam Greenwood, their prop forward. Let's take a check on their team. It's Summers, Hall, Powell, Newlove, Caudle, Heron and Fox the captain. Up front, Powell, Clark, Greenwood, Dixon, Medley and Furbank. And the substitutes Neil Holding and John Hamer. Castleford in possession with Graham Steadman. Good tackle on him by Dio Powell, the Welsh international, finished off by Trevor Clark. Here's the Castleford team: Steadman, Ellis, Blackmore, Andy Hay in the centres, Middleton, Smith and Ford. Up front, their captain, Crooks, Russell, Sampson, Morrison, Smales and Nikau. And on the bench for them, Chris Smith, the Great Britain Academy international, and Martin Kettridge. The pitch is very, very soft. It looked like a lake when we arrived here earlier on this afternoon. The ground staff and also Simon Fox's road sweeper has done a wonderful job in getting this game on at all.
Yes, very wet conditions, and that will prove to be an advantage for both sides when you think about the kicking abilities of Derek Fox on Bradford's side and Mike Ford, Castleford. Interesting to note that Mike Ford was out earlier practicing the little kick into the corner. So that is obviously the tactics from Castleford tonight. The little grubber into the corner.
Must be something about Bradford Northern whenever we have them on the big league on Sky on a Friday night. Remember Salford just a few weeks ago. It's conditions that are more suited to the Docks. However, they will plough through this mud tonight, I'm sure. Dixon running strong and tackled by Nikau and Morrison. Newlove is the acting halfback. A bit of a schmozzle going on between Dixon and Nikau early on. Ball is hoofed downfield, doesn't go too far. Steadman will pick up for Castleford, and he will try and release Middleton over on that far side. Good challenge by Carl Hall, the former Doncaster man.
Well, you can see how wound up the second row of Paul Dixon and Bradford. You really did have a go at his the loose forward to Nikau, and that's got to be a knock on. Just saying to this Bradford side, they really are hyped up for this game. Replay there, you can see that Dean Sampson got the fingers to it, not happy with it.
So Derek Fox has the feed at the scrum. This vital night for Bradford Northern. David Heron with the run. Anxious to get back on track after 2 defeats over Easter. Bradford Northern, 2 victories over Easter for Castleford. This is a good run from Carl Furbank. Furbank wearing headgear. More and more of these big league players are wearing the scrum caps. Newlove is the man from dummy half on the run. Wrestled to the floor by Nick Howe with a bit of help from Tony Smith. Bradford crowd thought they saw a short, sharp right going in there. Fox, he angles one across. This is one for Hall to chase. The ball bounces. Middleton found it, but he is forced over the line and trapped in goal.
Good kick and chase there. Carl Hall coming through Middleton, and look at the weight there. That is great defence from Bradford. They really have to mean business. We mentioned the fact that the kicking game is so important when it's so slippery. And there's no better exponent of the short kick than Derek Fox.
Castleford in the shape of Graham Steadman having to drop out from underneath their own post. The 9-cap Great Britain International doesn't get too much length on it, but it does spin its way up to the halfway line. Here's Neil Summers playing at full-back. David Watson, of course, still suspended, the New Zealand international.
And what a costly suspension that has proved to be. And that's why it's so important that Bradford get off to an early start, build their confidence. It really was shattered over the Easter weekend. It's vital they get off to a big start and win this game convincingly.
Fox finds Heron. He turns the ball back inside to Furbank. Furbank drags Bradford into the danger zone, gets the ball away and the tackle well to Roy Powell. But the referee, David Campbell, I think, shouted that Furbank was held before he released the ball.
No doubt about it. Having held, kept the ball away. It's mine, that's an unusual decision. It should have been a penalty, passing the ball after the referee is being called. Unless, of course, it's deemed that it's classed as a knock-on, but it went backward. Well, bit of controversy early in this game.
Castleford in possession with Richie Blackmore. Furbank coming in a little strongly on the New Zealander.
Good job he didn't connect as well. Little telling off there from the referee, David Campbell. Looked at Fairbank and said, cut that out.
Here's Lee Crooks. Good tackle by Medley. Finished off by Roy Powell. Russell can't get away. Good defence from Bradford. There's Castleford still in their own half of the field on the last tackle. Steadman will give it some air. But he goes straight into the arms, I was going to say, of Caudle. The referee says play on. No, knock on. Well, Caudle was lucky to get away with that.
Well, they must have deemed that it came off the chest and bounced backwards.
Dio Powell, Welsh international, wrestled to the ground. Clark tries to release Furbank. Over the years, 39 matches played. Bradford have won 15, Castleford 23. It's a record that Bradford must turn round here tonight. Good run there from Powell. Being interfered with at the play of the ball, or as he tried to get to his feet by Dean Sampson.
Sampson all over the centre, Dio Powell. They can see pushing him down to it. The knees just kept him down enough for the referee Campbell to award the penalty. Well, it's all Bradford so far.
Yes, good start for them. Adam Greenwood, their prop forward. 26 years old, substitute against Hull on Monday. Plays the ball to Trevor Clark. Here's Roy Powell, 10 metres from the line.
It's back to 6. Lee Crooks touched that ball.
Big opportunity then here for Bradford as Dixon makes the diagonal run. That's how close Bradford Northern are. It's back now with Fox. He will give it to Furbank. Powell is there Newlove rather is there waiting. The ball eventually hooked back to Caudle, but the referee has pulled them all back for an earlier knock-on. It'll be a Castleford head and feet at the scrum.
Ball out there, and you can see that Fairbank just couldn't get to it. He got his foot to it away. Little pat on the head from his second row partner, Paul Dixon. Well, the chance went begging there. Fairbank really was on full pelt for the line. But to be fair to these players, it's extremely slippy ball there. You can see how wet conditions they're playing in.
Nick with the run. Greenwood closes him down. Yes, the conditions far from ideal. It's a thunderous challenge by Paul Medley. Here's Crooks. A night really for the Lee Crookses of this world, the big forwards, to really get involved with the work. Richie Blackmore now for Castleford. Releases the pass, and Steadman under pressure. Drops it. Bradford have it back courtesy of Dixon. So the ball bounced in front of the Castleford fullback, and it was difficult for him to take, and Bradford have made full advantage of that.
A lot of pressure on Graham Steadman there, but full credit to Paul Dixon, he took that up well.
Ball out wide to Carl Hall from Summers. Carl Hall, Doncaster released him to Bradford Northern. Of course, Doncaster have got eyes on the big league themselves just at the moment. Leaders of the second division. Here it's all about the big league title, and Roy Powell driving one in for Bradford Northern. 10 metres short of the line. Clark is there. This now is Fox. Long ball out again. And Dio Powell ducks under two challenges. Can't get away from Nicow or Richard Russell. Last tackle here for Bradford. So much pressure in the opening 9 minutes. Nothing to show for it as yet. Fox though. Lovely ball inside. Clark is there. Still he releases the pass. Are they over? Yes, they are. It's Dio Powell, the Welsh international, was in exactly the right place at the right time.
The Castleford defence went up quickly, expecting a kick from Fox, and he dummies there. Dummies round his opposite number, Mike Ford. It was a beautiful pass inside. The hooker, Trevor Clark, got this ball away. And great support play by Dio Powell, the centre. Super play from Fox, under pressure, throws the dummy, and Ford misses him. Morrison couldn't get to him either, but good support play from Clark, the hooker, and Powell deserved that. It all stemmed from this. There you see Steadman losing the ball, but look how Dixon picks it up so quickly. That was so important, and they'd had 12 tackles to get to that position, and it's paid off with 4 points.
Fox then with the conversion attempt, and he just pushes it wide of the posts. Difficult conditions though for the goal kickers tonight, but Bradford, coming into this match on the back of consecutive defeats, have got a 4-point lead. Just the start that Bradford Northern wanted. Castleford with their 100% Easter behind them, 4 points against Featherstone and Oldham. Bradford their defeats against Halifax and Hull. But it can't be emphasised just how important tonight is to Bradford Northern, with those 2 games coming up against Wigan next week. The second one, of course, you can see a week tonight from Central Park, live and exclusive on Sky.
Another good run there from the second row, Paul Medley. He's looking for a big game. We mentioned about the fact that Bradford have to rebuild that confidence. A win tonight certainly still puts them in there. Remember, they have to play Wigan twice.
Steadman tried to trap that kick downfield from Fox. It went under his boot. And he in turn is trapped by Powell, the scorer of the try.
Well, the tactics we mentioned, the nice kick from the Bradford little halfback Derek Fox. Also Peter Fox, the coach here tonight, realising that Castleford are the side, if you let them gain momentum, they certainly build in confidence. They love to play classy football. So if you can get in there early and really knock them down, they start to get frustrated and the mistakes come.
This is a great run from Blackmore. Blackmore gets the ball away to Nicow, but the referee, I think, has pulled them back. Forward pass.
Little doubt about it. Richie Blackmore throwing the one outside. Nicow just a step in front. Well spotted there by the touch judge. Indicated to the referee Campbell straight away. It was definitely a forward pass. Nice to see the combination of the officials.
Here's Adam Greenwood. Good tackling by Tony Smith. Fox. And to scurry away, it was Smith who was in there with him. Pulled down also by Smales, and now Dixon, who's run really strongly in the opening 12 minutes here. Fox again. The kick over the top, so important. It forces mistakes like that. Ball like a bar of soap, and difficult for the fullback to keep his feet. Trapped by Newlove and by Medley.
It's all about applying the pressure, and Graham Steadman, he can be brilliant at times, but also he can be put under that pressure and make those mistakes. We've seen it so often in the past.
Mike Ford, and he gets the ball away to Morrison. Richard Russell, the dummy half. Ford again, now Nick Howe. As Castleford tried to prize an opening. That's a good ball, and that's a great run from Andy Hay. He has support with him. Lovely ball to Ford. Ford trying to get the ball over the top. But the referee brings it all back. And Castleford know they were so close to a try there.
Superb pass from Andy Hay, and Ford tried to the overhead pass. The fingertips got to it, but in the end, but look at this neat little pass from Nick Howe. Sucked in the two defenders. They went far too high on the big centre.
Smith driving the ball in towards the posts. Castleford with possession from the scrum, called for the Bradford Northern knock on. It's Nick Howe, and he is stopped. That's the Bradford Northern post in the background there. This is Richard Russell, the dummy half, going for the line and scoring. Bradford just caught a little flat-footed in their defensive makeup, and Richard Russell exposed them for his 7th try of the season.
You get these in the chemist shop, the dummy, and that's all it needed. It took so long to pick that ball up from the floor and allowed the defence to go past. Look at that. That's all it needed. A little dummy, not going in very quickly, but it was enough. This is the break that brought them into that position. Beautiful pass from Nick Howe. You can see how he brings in two defenders there. And that gave the opportunity. They went far too high. And Andy Hay, super support play from Mike Ford. Just didn't get away with it in the end, but it gave them the position, and they gleefully accepted the 4 points.
Richard Russell with the try then, and Lee Crooks now with the conversion attempt. 113 successful kicks for the big fellow this season. He's had a wonderful time leading this Castleford side. And straight between the posts, the flags go up, and Castleford hold the lead. After the great start from Bradford, they've been pegged back.
You see how the second marker goes the wrong way, and the first marker doesn't move. And that's enough for that guy to squeeze in. Good thinking from the hooker. Excellent play.
Richard Russell then with a try against his former club Oldham on Easter Monday. Oh, and from the kick-off, St. John Ellis called for Mike Ford to duck out of the way. Ford ducked, and Ellis dropped it.
Well, he called for it, and it was the right call. The man behind you running forwards onto the ball has a far better chance than Mike Ford, who was actually advancing backwards.
Bradford Northern then with the head and feet at the scrum. Now Castleford made such good use of a scrum in a similar position just a few moments ago. Newlove with the drive. Clark is the dummy half. He gets it to Greenwood. Greenwood trying to step through that challenge. The challenge was made though by Russell. Clark is there. This is Fox. Roy Powell. Fox back on the inside. Medley. Scrambling defence again from Castleford. They're standing firm, but for how long? Furbank gives the ball to Heron. Here's Fox. And Summers has joined the line. Gives the ball to Carl Hall. Certainly knows where the line is, Carl Hall. He has managed 6 tries in his 6 games since he came here to Odsal. Furbank dinks the ball over the top, straight into the arms of Blackmore, and he caught that on the fall behind his own line. Castleford will restart with a tap on their 20-metre mark, and they're launching this attack already.
Good take from the centre there. Richie Blackmore read that well. Not the best kick, Fairbank, the loose forward, not noted for his kicking ability.
This is Dean Sampson. 18 minutes gone. Castleford with the slight advantage. Crooks. Of course, Lee Crooks and Castleford looking to finish second in the table for the first time. Their previous best finish was third. That wasn't the best kick in the world, though, from Mike Ford. Not even in these conditions did that one slow up.
Wouldn't be happy with that, as we mentioned before the game started, that Mike Ford was out half an hour before the kickoff, practicing just that little kick through.
Castleford ahead then. We mentioned, Steve, didn't we, last night on Boots and All, that they could have a really big say in this year's title. They're meeting Bradford tonight. They have to face Warrington and Wigan before the end.
They certainly could have a lot of say in it, as you so rightly so, but they're looking for the second spot. They know how important it is in the playoffs to be in the second position.
Ellis trying to dance away from Roy Powell, and Roy Powell said, "This is not the gentleman's excuse me, you're going down on the floor." Nicow. Here's Crooks. Driving it in again to the danger zone. Crooks turning, releasing the ball in the tackle to his scrum half Ford. He finds Sampson. Oh, and a clattering tackle coming in on Tony Smith. It was Fairbank with all that weight.
He felt that as well, did the standoff Smith.
Russell, the dummy half, gives it to Ford. Grubbers it through. But that was well played. Dio Powell, score of the Bradford try, showing his defensive qualities there. But look at the way Hall is being dragged back over the line. Tremendous strength from the Castleford players.
Andy Hay, the prop forward, Dean Sampson. They really went for the former Doncaster winger there. Carl Hall had no chance.
Enjoyed that, didn't he, Dean Sampson? Midway through this first half, Castleford just ahead. Fox's drop out from under the post went nowhere. This is Stedman who will run it back. Whoa, Fairbank. And then he got him second time on the floor, and he's forced to knock on.
Crunch time. Oh, dearie me. Went straight through, and Paul Dixon caught him on the rebound. Look at this. Dixon comes in now. Crunch time. He got all barrels, 1, 2, 3, and Stedman, not surprisingly, does not know where he is. As he bounced off the first shoulder charge from Fairbank, as he spun into it, Dixon was coming in like a Centurion tank. This is the first one. Boom. Oh, and then that. And then Fairbank finishes him off. All legal. Shoulder first. The man was not tackled. Dixon didn't tackle him down. He spun away from him. So that allowed the chance for Fairbank to actually go on the top again. Was not a flop. What's ahead? Just ricochet when he gets into this. Oh, dearie me. He's a rough and toughie, is Carl Fairbank. And so's this guy, Graham Stedman.
Looks a little bit the worse for wear at the moment, doesn't he, though, Stedman? Dear me. It's Bradford who have possession with Dave Heron. Now Fox. Oh, there's another cruncher from Crooks on Fox. And Fox gets up and laughs at him.
Oh, this is winding up. Come on, Derek, take this one. Shoulder straight into the head. They mean business tonight, both sides.
Vital game for the two of them, more vital though arguably for Bradford Northern in their pursuit of this title. He is a man who has led the charge all season. The ball out from Fairbank into the arms of Caudle, and Caudle couldn't hang on to it.
Fairbank tried to get it round there, but good play by Richie Blackmore, got a fingertips to it. Gerald Caudle would have been well away then.
Yes, Blackmore did well, didn't he? Just got a hand to it and knocked it back. Well played by the Kiwi centre. Let's go straight down to Bill Arthur for news of Graham Stedman.
Graham Steadman really is in a groggy state, and he's being led off now by assistant coach Alan Ager, and he really is staggering on his feet. And on comes young Chris Smith, one of the rookies at Castleford, to go into that full-back slot. And Graham Steadman, I think, is going to be going straight down the tunnel, and he really is in a very shaky state.
High kick, Summers spills it. Soccer skills from Ford, who hadn't seen Paul Medley was there.
You could see Mike Ford there say to his fellas, sorry mate, he should really have dropped onto this football and gained possession. It was all on, but he opted to make for the kick. Either way, Castleford have got Bradford penned down in their own quarter.
It's a rough, tough local derby this, isn't it? Bradford 4, Castleford 6. Carl Hall trying to get Bradford out of trouble. Trevor Clark having a word or two with his forwards, saying that's the work that you should be doing. And here's Dixon trying to do exactly that. Penned down by Smith and Nick Howe. It's the last tackle. Here's Derek Fox. And Middleton makes a meal of it and knocks on. He's in the full-back position now that Steadman is off the field.
Well, it's been a nightmare, isn't it? Look at that. Extremely slippy conditions. So the kicking game is so important. It's all about forcing the error and then taking the opportunity that's given you.
Handling errors. Castleford have made 5-3. Here's Heron. Good play from David Heron, 36 years old, playing standoff half tonight. New Love. Brought to ground by Smales and by Richie Blackmore. Now Fox to Powell. And Fairbank stabs it forward. Middleton is there, and another knock-on from Middleton. And that means it will be a drop-out from underneath his own posts.
Well, the first kick from Carl Fairbank went nowhere, but this time it's paid off for him. Nice run from the loose forward. Puts foot to the ball, and then the mistake.
So the stand-in full-back while Graham Steadman receives treatment for what must be concussion. Makes a couple of errors, and younger Chris Smith, only 18, Great Britain Academy International winger, was after that drop out so quickly. And he's there now doing the tackling. But I tell you what, Carl Hall takes something to bring him down.
Good play, though, from the substitute, Chris Smith. Showing a lot of encouraging enthusiasm, should I say.
Medley trying to go forward on all fours. Desperate defence from Castleford. Trevor Clark is there, the dummy half. Derek Fox. David Heron. Nobody wants it.
Offside.
Offside, Fairbank.
Trying to get the ball inside there. Came off Dixon. And Fairbank, no time to think about it. Just popped in front of it, picked it up and threw it to the referee.
Now Sampson for Castleford. Nightmare conditions for these players, but aren't they putting on a show for us here as Fairbank leaps into the tackle on Lee Crooks. Possession is Bradford's. The lead, though, is Castleford's. And they've lost the ball there, Castleford again. Derek Fox drops on the loose ball.
Not surprisingly, it was a real crunch tackle on Ian Smales. And then offside, the crowd go berserk.
Taking a quick tap penalty of Bradford. Summers the dummy half to Fox. He gets the ball away. Dio Powell is brought down by Hay. Carl Hall, so closely, almost through, and he was not tackled. He took a bit of a chance then. Could easily then have been penalised, but the referee gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe didn't hear the call. Now Caudle, who scored 4 tries in the defeat on Monday against Hull here. You're called to the side on the transfer list. 4 tries, thanks very much. Keep the jersey for this week.
Well, there's little doubt that both sides are going to slog it out in these heavy conditions. It's going to go right down to the wire, and which is the fittest team.
Bradford keeping the ball alive well. Heron with the ball to Summers. He gets it out to Powell, and Powell loses it. Castleford have it back. It was on the last tackle. It's the turnover.
The crunching tackles, arms, legs, everything going into it. Like a bar of soap is that football.
34 tries from St. John Ellis this season, but this is hardly his ground, is it? Heavy conditions. He's a top of the ground flyer, is St. John Ellis. And you can see the way this match is being played in the opening half hour or so here, that it is a night for the big, heavy running forwards.
Sure is, but it's also a night for someone to start taking control in the kicking department and try to save the legs of those big forwards, because when it gets late into the second half, whichever team has utilised the kicking game best will probably go run out the winners.
Mike Ford, there's the kick from him. Summers watches it all the way, and a knock-on from Summers. No pressure on him.
There's the mistake that we're all talking about. Conditions just slipped away. Just a lack of concentration, that's all it takes.
You might watch out for a few deep kicks from both Mike Ford and Derek Fox, because of course 2 players operating at full-back tonight, at the moment anyway, who are not used to that role. Neil Summers for Bradford, in for the suspended Watson, and Middleton now at full-back for the concussed Graham Steadman. So those little kicks through may take on even more significance as this match unfolds. Half an hour gone. Here's Ford. Reverse ball to Sampson. Fairbank and Heron and Powell halt the big prop forward. Good run from Crooks. Good tackling by Bradford. That was the last one for Castleford. They're 10 metres short of the line. Something now from Ford. Reverse pass, but straight into the arms of Dixon. He took that well.
Well, Mike Ford was taking a leaf out of Derek Fox's book there. Running to the open, towards the corner, but bringing the ball back inside. And really that was far too high. On these conditions, you've got to drive the ball into the ground. It'll slip anywhere.
And Bradford got the penalty, and the news from the dressing rooms is that Graham Steadman is fit and well. And was that a knock-on from Medley? Yes, it was.
Well, it's to be expected. Don't expect fancy stuff tonight in these conditions. It's going to be a tough-it-out situation. Mistakes are plenty, but it's whichever team can capitalise on that mistake.
Now St. John Ellis fancies a run. That's good play. Bit of a gap there. Oh, no, Summers misses it. Well, did he miss it? It looked for all the world like Summers had overrun it, and Ellis touched down, but the referee says that actually Summers did get a hand to it. And St. John Ellis denied his 35th try of the season by a fingertip, no more.
Yes, he got his arm to it, forced it down, fingertips or the forearm, that's all it takes. But oh, the crowd held their breath.
I'm sure Summers did as well. Looked like the biggest of blunders, didn't it?
It certainly did. St. John Ellis thought that the record was his.
Yes, he already has equalled the Castleford scoring record set by Keith Howe in 63-64 with 34 tries. One more tonight, and Ellis will have the record all to himself. But there was a moment there where the ball was through, and here's another chance for Castleford. Was it forward? Is it a try? It is. He's given the try, despite the fact that there was a great roar for a forward pass. Ian Smales. Did he drop it? Was it forward? No matter, it's a try.
Super play though from Castleford. They really got on with it. Smith out wide to Ford. It looked as though he was going to do the dummy round, and it was Morrison that kept it alive. And it was great play that got the ball away. He slid away there, did Ian Smales, the second rower. The traffic was well out of the way. Look how Ford looks as though he's going to dummy to it. Super play from Morrison. He kept his arms up and looked as though he was going to be going behind him. Russell passed on, and the big second rower, Ian Smales, is in for the try.
So Ian Smales, how important that might be. He's only missed one game all season, and Castleford stretch the lead. I was going to say, as that try was being scored, that these kicks into the corner are so important. This kick in front of the sticks is important for Crooks, and he adds the extra 2. 12-4, Castleford. Not what Bradford wanted at all.
You see Ford, the ball carrier, but Morrison raises his arms as though the ball is going to go behind him. But he doesn't, he just delays it. That held off the defence, but the support was there. Super play from Richard Russell. And the big second rower, Ian Smales, slides away. The spin over on the line's enough. That's sufficient.
And no double movement, which I think some of the Bradford supporters were appealing for. There is a knock-on by Mike Ford, another one direct from the kick-off. Castleford now under pressure.
Well, you could see his body was all turning. You can't expect to take a ball like that. He really should have just let the ball bounce perhaps, or trap it with his foot, because his body was not facing the ball.
So can Bradford Northern snap back? This is Summers. So close, Summers through the gap almost. Good tackle on him by Simon Middleton. Bradford anxious to get on with it, and that's good tackling by Richie Blackmore on Paul Newlock. Summers again staying up there, the fullback, to support this attack. Oh no, it's Dio Powell. Here's Fox. Not the best ball. Picked up by Roy Powell. Good tackle on him by Mike Ford.
Super defence from Castleford there. You could see them moving up. They're pressurising Bradford. They don't want to go forward. They've lost ground with those last 4 play the ball.
Tremendous defence from Castleford here. Ball is dabbed through. And that was Smith, the substitute, who knocked it backwards but wheeled it in.
Super play from the sub, Chris Smith there. You saw that he put his body on the line, put his body between the man coming towards him. Even though he lost control, it was definitely going to go backwards.
Just about 4 minutes plus stoppages to half-time then. And downstairs, Bill Arthur with the Castleford assistant coach, Alan Agar.
Alan, you've got the lead, but in these conditions, it's a lottery, isn't it?
It is at the moment, Bill. Yeah, we're doing some good play. Then, obviously, from the kick-off there, Mike Ford dropped the ball. We've got to cut them things out if we can, but like you say, it's a bit of a lottery. This lead in the second half could be vital to us.
You had your doubts about that try that didn't go your way when it looked as though St John Ellis had got the touchdown. What was your view of that one? You saw the replay.
Well, obviously it wasn't a try, was it? The referee was dead right in his decision. But again, the conditions then called Neil Summers to slip by the ball, and as you say, it'll get worse as well.
Yes, conditions will not improve, there's no doubt about that. But Alan Agar and John Joyner aiming for second place for the first time ever in Castleford history. Previous best finish was third, and of course second would give them home ties in the race for Old Trafford and the Premiership. And it means also they will avoid the champions, whoever they might be. Last tackle here. Fox drops one over the top. That ball bounced, I think, for the first time tonight, and straight into the arms of Middleton. Good chase though by Fox. He and Roy Powell leading the way. Well, Chris Smith will not be intimidated, will he, by Bradford or the big league. And he's shown some aggression, the young winger who has come on for the injured Steadman. Here's Crooks, one of the old campaigners. Another big cruncher from Carl Fairbank.
It's been a great battle, hasn't it, between Lee Crooks and Carl Fairbank. They've been looking at each other, sizing each other up, making sure that the tackles are going to be a big one. And no doubt that will continue in the second half.
Ford under pressure. It was a tremendous chase actually by Paul Newlove that put him under that pressure, and the ball sailed out on the full.
That's what it's all about. Don't just stand there and let him have all the time in the world. Paul Newlove showing the experience there.
So Bradford looking for the victory that will keep them on Wigan's tails, trailing by 12 points to 4. And as you can see, every picture tells a story. Look at that pitch and look at the state of the players after just one half of this match in the big league. But they are toughing it out, and they're trying to put on a really good display, a gutsy performance, and that's exactly what it is. But what was that from Furbank? He's got the penalty. I think he milked it.
Little wry smile there. Perhaps just a little bit of a touch there from Smales with the fingertips. Either way, Fairbank made a meal of it. Doesn't matter, the penalty's there.
And Furbank will not be arguing about that.
Well, it surprised me, Eddie, this Bradford display. They've used the forwards. We know it's a day for the big packs. But I'm surprised that this man, Derek Fox, has not used a little bit more of the kicking game, the chip over the top or the little grubber kick through.
Well, he'd be delighted if this one sails over. And it does. So Bradford cut the arrears to 6 points with Derek Fox's 110th goal of this campaign. 6 points to 12. Bradford unbeaten at home until Lee caused the upset of the season, 24-14. And they lost their second in a row at home against Hull on Easter Monday. 7 tries to 6 that day. Here tonight, in conditions like this, it'd be a miracle if we see 13 tries. But we're seeing two sides putting on a really determined and gutsy show. The referee has held the clock up quite a bit tonight. We're in now stoppage time in this first half. Be quite a bit of time to be added on, I think, as Crooks restarts.
Well, Castle will be happy to go into the half-time break. It's amazing, over the last half hour, the wind has just dropped completely.
There's another penalty for a dive from Medley. He was certainly being ankle-tapped by Dean Sampson.
Well, you could see there, Sampson making no attempt to release him.
It was a dying swan, though, wasn't it?
Doesn't matter, they all try for it.
Adam Greenwood doing well, taking Bradford into the Castleford half of the field. Got a bang in the hip then. That's painful on a night like this. Here's Trevor Clark. Lee Crooks hauls him down.
Good play from the hooker, Trevor Clark there. That's important to gain quick ground from the play of the ball.
And then Bradford, can they get level by half-time? Not with defence like that from Blackmore. Newlove is the dummy half. Nowhere for him to go, though. There's the half-time siren. That's the last action of this first half. The first half that Castleford have shaded by 12 points to 6. Bradford off to a great start with the Dio Powell try, but Lee Crooks got his troops going, and Castleford it is, courtesy of Russell and Smales' tries, take the half-time lead. Here at Odsall, and it's 6 points to 12 to Castleford. Try from Dio Powell started Bradford off with a bit of a rush, but they have been pulled back courtesy of 2 tries from Russell and Smales, and the goals from Lee Crooks. Absolutely awful, though, the conditions here at Odsall tonight. I don't know what it is about Bradford Northern, but every time we have them on the big league on a Friday night, the conditions are absolutely awful. But we must say at this point also, Steve-O, full credit to both sides here, because they have put on a rare old show for us in awful conditions.
Yeah, you don't like coming over the Pennines, Eddie, do you? Yet, full credit, as you say. It has been quite a good game, as I say, because I think the kicking game was going to play a major part in it. And, of course, the mistakes are coming fast and furious. But the tackles, unbelievable stuff. It really has been entertaining stuff, because some of those big hits, Stedman really got a bad one.
He did. The news from the dressing room is, though, that he is okay despite the concussion, and Castleford, are they full value for their half-time lead?
I think so. I think that through Mike Ford, they've utilised the kick far more than what Bradford have. Derek Fox, of course, a master at the kicking game, but quite frankly, I was disappointed with Bradford's attitude towards the kicking. In these conditions, anything can happen, and as far as I'm concerned, that will continue in the second half.
Well, let's take a look at some of the important moments of this first half, and this is the start that Bradford wanted, because they just simply cannot afford to lose here tonight.
No, it was a good opening for them. You could see that the opposite number 40 went for Derek Fox. Beautiful pass inside, but well played by the centre Dai Powell, and good support play by the hooker Trevor Clark. But they bounced back well, did Castleford. And Tawira Nikau, look how he throws the dummy, drags in the defence. He dragged in Dave Heron, playing at standoff tonight. And the big centre, Andy Hay. This was the beautiful break. Wasn't the best passes from Mike Ford, but it got Castleford into the position to allow their hooker to actually finish off and score a try. He took his time. It was a beautiful little dummy. Look at that. Poor work by the markers from Bradford, and the hooker went in for a very good try indeed.
And after that, of course, Castleford bounced back again, but Bradford Northern, they are so concerned probably about the victory, and on a night like this, with conditions like this, I suppose that must be playing on their minds, mustn't it?
Well, they didn't have the best Easter, did they? And as far as I'm concerned, their coach, Peter Fox, will be telling their players that we have to utilise a kick. Just keep going at it, because it's all going to come down to mistakes this game. Whoever makes the least mistakes and uses the kicking game to the best advantage will come away with his two vital 2 points.
Well, Castleford made sure they had the half-time advantage, courtesy of this next try.
Yeah, it was a nice kicking game. It was the one that was really not taken. They said that St John Ellis got and scored the try, but full credit to Neil Summers, the full-back. He was on hand. You could see quite clearly that they had the downward pressure, and that is enough. But this was a great try. Look at that. The dummy there, you could see the big second rower. Tony Morrison, he threw his arms up in the air, and there was Smales to slide in and then spin over the top. It wasn't a double movement, and as far as I'm concerned, that was a great try.
Definitely no double movement, Steve-O.
No, he was moving and sliding away, and he just brought the arm round. And as far as I'm concerned, good refereeing by Campbell.
Well, if you say so, it must be. There we are then. It's half-time here at Hodsall, and Bradford Northern trailing by 12 points to 6. They really must come back second half, and they've got to win this to maintain their pursuit on Wigan for that title. 12-6. Castleford lead. It's all to play for. Second 40. Hodsall for this second half. Castleford ahead by 12 points to 6. Powell with the try for Bradford. Russell and Smales for Castleford. Derek Fox knows how important the next 40 minutes will be. They have had such a good season here at Hodsall. They really have pushed Wigan all the way for this championship, and it would be such a shame if in the last couple of weeks of the season the wheels fall off dramatically. And as you can tell from that picture, the rain is teeming down again here at Hodsall. Conditions that were pretty grim at the start of this Stonesborough Championship clash will get even worse in the next 40. It's Castleford who are in possession. Let's go downstairs to Peter Fox with Bill Arthur.
Peter, what's the plan for this second 40?
We've got to keep them penned down, we've got to move in and tackle, and we've got to get the ball a little bit wide, and Fox is not got to stay on the ruck and get first man off the ruck. He's got to get a bit wider so they can put good kicks into the corner and chase them into these corner flags.
It's a vital 40 minutes as far as your season goes, isn't it?
Absolutely, but it's a vital for anybody at this stage of the season, you know.
Peter Fox, yes, he summed it up perfectly. Vital for them all. Vital, though, I would venture to suggest, more so than anybody else. This is a great one, though, from Tony Smith, trying to take advantage at the start of this second half. Good tracking by Neil Summers, who pulled him down. Chris Smith, the dummy half.
Super pass from Nikau that sent Smith through there.
Carl Hall collects behind his own line, and Mike Ford, following up his kick through, brings him down. Good start from Cass.
Oh, tremendous boost to their confidence, and what a great tackle from Mike Ford. It's all about kick and chase, and look, Nikau was there. He was the man that started it off with a superb pass, delayed it to perfection, and Tony Smith scampered through. Good play by Smith also. He didn't panic, realizing that he was in a good position deep into the Bradford half.
Not so sure there's not a touch of sleet and snow in this rain here at Odsal tonight. Conditions were bad to begin with, and they are going to be worse before the end of this game. It's bad for the players, it's bad for the spectators, it's pretty grim for cameramen also. But they're all here with a smile on their face. This is Lee Crooks in the danger zone. Now Mike Ford to Tawera Nikau. Nikau called Andy Hay for that, and Andy Hay took it and then took the challenge from Heron. Ford, high kick, he's measured it to perfection, and it had to be a good take, and it was. Neil Summers.
Well, that wasn't diffused. His feet was in the field of play, and yet the referee has allowed him to get away with that. Well, a let-off there for Bradford.
Clark is the dummy half.
A little bit of lady luck going their way. You can see quite clearly there that Summers' feet is in the field of play when I took that ball. That should have been play on. And in these conditions, I'm sure Castleford would have tackled him well into his in-goal area.
It's Trevor Clark trying to batter his way through this Castleford defence. Now here's Fox, drills one over the top. That's a great kick. That's a super kick for Caudle, who just couldn't get to it. I think he did get a boot to it, and I think he kicked it too strongly.
But he's being picked offside. The referee, David Campbell, said that Caudle could not have been in that position without being in front of the kicker. There's a kick over. Pretty hard to tell there, but as far as the referee was concerned, David Campbell.
Caudle was offside. A little bit difficult also for Caudle. He gave it some air, didn't he, behind it? A bit like making a putt these days on temporary greens on the golf course. You never know where it's going to end up. And that was the same there for Caudle. Hit it too strongly.
And we also saw the fact that the tactics that we heard from the Bradford coach, Peter Fox, quite happy. Get the kick into the corner, and that's what Derek Fox just did then. Keep the mistakes down to a minimum if they can. It's going to be a grueling encounter this second half.
I mean, these conditions, Steve, are just ludicrous, aren't they? Because you would expect at this stage of the season that the pitches would be firming up a bit, never mind like a paddy field. It's been a dreadful winter, so wet, there's been so much rain, it's untrue.
I keep saying it, bring on summer rugby league.
You've nearly got it now, and look at the conditions we're playing in. Fairbank on the halfway line. Picks himself out of the rice. Medley with that drive.
That's a better run there from the Bradford forwards.
Fox gives the ball some air to Greenwood. I must say I've been impressed with the Castleford defence tonight. Working very hard. Roy Powell into the Castleford quarter. Quick play the ball to Clark, now to Fox. Hoists the kick. There's a tester. Middleton's after it. Took it well.
That'll be a penalty. Fairbank took the ball off Middleton. He was thinking about it. It's a 50-50, but you can see there that Middleton takes it well. And then Fairbank says, give it me. Can't do that. Cannot rip the ball away. Be disappointed will the loose forward Carl Fairbank. They've given away a good position.
Notice, by the way, that now Simon Middleton's wearing number 1, the jersey that was worn by Graham Steadman. Steadman off concussed, but he's all right. He has recovered in the dressing room, but Middleton is the full-back. Crooks is the prop forward. That was a good run from him. Tony Smith was almost through, but David Heron with the tackle. Richard Russell trying to barge his way through. Again, Heron working hard. 36 years young. Nikau with half a number on his back. Andy Hay. This is Russell now. Last tackle here for Castleford. The ball is with Ford. scampers away from the challenge of Medley, drills the ball into the mud, and that won't find touch. Carl Hall picks up, and Chris Smith following up. The youngster has not been intimidated by Odsal or by the big league.
Super play by Chris Smith there, but it was a great kick, wasn't it? Ball just bobbled in, tight, skidded away, and then slowed up under the wet conditions. That particular corner really was like a lake a couple of hours before the kickoff.
It might be yet if this rain continues. Ball skims off one of the surface puddles away from Middleton. He drives it back in bravely. Mike Ford scampers into dummy half. And there's the mistake from Sampson. Dio Powell picking up the pieces after Sampson dropped it. David Herr on the dummy half. It was with Fox, long ball, risky business in these conditions. Good play though. Newlove to Caudle. Caudle wheels it in second attempt. And Castleford try and shuttle the Welsh international winger out of play, but he does well. He applies the brakes, and Newlove with the run.
So strong, isn't he, the big centre, Paul Newlove. Not the conditions that he'd be fancying tonight, but his strength could play a big part.
Bradford trying to up the tempo. Fox, that's a good ball to Dixon. Dixon is there with Blackmore, and Blackmore wins that particular challenge. Fox again. Now Summers. Short ball to Fairbank. Summers takes the return and hangs on to it. And Medley was so close. Desperate defence from Castleford. Quicksilver attack from Bradford. Quick hands. A bit too quick by Fox. The piece is picked up by Dixon. Round the corner it goes to Roy Powell. This is the last tackle. And that means it will be the automatic turnover.
They just lost their way a little bit there. Bradford really should have opted for the kick. Fox was screaming for it, but the ball went in the wrong direction. That's the second occasion in this second half that Bradford have allowed Castleford off the hook.
It's as you were at half-time. 12-6 to Castleford. Chris Smith. Well, he's impressive, isn't he? The Great Britain International Academy. And both sides are working so hard in defence. That's Morrison. And this is Crooks. 5 tackles gone. The ball with Ford. He will surely kick it. It bounces off a Bradford Northern player's back. Fox has to scamper after it. And Chris Smith closed him down. Been impressed with the youngster, Steve-O, Chris Smith, I must say, the 14.
Yeah, he's a talent for the future, that's for sure. It's great to see these youngsters coming into the first grade. A couple of years' time, they are our future. Go through so many. We really have unearthed some talent this season, haven't we?
Good ball to Newlove. He is a danger for Bradford Northern. Castleford know it too. Nick Howe brings him down with a little bit of help from Lee Crooks. 10 minutes, second half gone. Fairbank will drive it down the middle and lose the ball. Now Blackmore, what can he do?
Fairbank looking for the pass there, trying to get his arms free.
Sindinelli's copped a little right hook then from Fairbank. Here's the ball spilling out from Fairbank's arm. He says it was stolen from him.
Probably right. But pretty hard to take in these conditions.
Ford ran onto that at some pace. The ball inside was to Morrison. Good defence this time from Bradford Northern. Dio Powell getting a good challenge in there. Tony Smith got that ball away. This is Ellis. He finds Blackmore. Blackmore scored a wonderful try in this fixture last season, but he passed to the wrong man there. Wonder if Newlove gave him the call.
I'm sure he did. Blackmore there just had his head turned the wrong way. I'm sure that Newlove says now. But it was great play from Castleford. Bradford took the gamble. It was a loose forward, Carl Fairbank, that came out of the defensive line and missed the tackle, and that created the overlap for the Richie Blackmore to go through. They've been impressive, Castleford, in the second half, but full credit to Bradford. Their defence is pretty strong too.
We're watching the two leading scorers in the big league as Fairbank makes the run, tries to dab it round the full-back Middleton. It's Castleford's ball. Good defence, Ellis.
Super play there, but also equal to the task, wasn't he? Carl Fairbank really has had a big game, worked hard.
Just let me re-emphasise that point. The First Division's leading scorers on view here tonight on Sky. 705 points for Castleford, 666 for Bradford before tonight. But it's the defensive qualities of these two sides that are on show here. That was a knock-on from Nick out. Referee has a glance, touch judge, and referee say play on.
Castleford lucky to get away with that one.
Ford drills it into the corner. That will hang on the very wet turf here and that raised area in the corner. Summers with the run and good tackling again.
This is a knock-on, just a little one.
Here's Newlove. Newlove has got to get round Middleton, walks through him, gets away from Ford. Can he get away from Smith? This is a great run from Newlove. Quite magnificent try. Spellbinding season for Paul Newlove, and that's one of his best. Try number 29. The pace, the power, the strength. It was all on show there.
If Bradford go on to lift the championship, they perhaps may look back at this man. The strength, the upper body strength, the fend. He carries the ball in the right arm, which is the left on this occasion, so they can use the right to fend. He gets Ford out of the way. Then he gets Tony Smith out of the way, who went far too high. They paid the penalty, but that was absolutely something special. The step inside, Richie Blackmore missed him. And look how he goes away. Leaves the right arm free to fend. The step inside, look at that fend there. And Tony Smith paid the price of going too high. He should have aimed for the legs. He didn't. The result is Bradford are back in this game.
And they will be even more back in the game if Derek Fox can kick this. He's given it a chance. It just fades short of the posts. Bradford though are in the hunt here. 10 points to 12. Super try, Newlove.
You can see there that the centre, Richie Blackmore, has missed from the second marker, and that allows the big fella to get on his way. And when this guy starts moving, it's dreadnought time. Beautiful step inside. But you'll notice now Tony Smith tries to go high. You can't do that with a man of this strength. Superb try.
Brilliant stuff, and I think we've mentioned it before this season, Steve-O. If that would have been a try by an Australian Test centre, we would all be drooling at the mouth. We should be drooling because that was the best of British, one of the best in the world.
I don't say super often, and that was super.
Meanwhile, Bradford have taken the opportunity to make a change. John Hamer, vastly experienced, has come on for Adam Greenwood to bolster them now. There he goes to try and get them right back on top in this game. Interesting comment from Peter Fox just then. He was up out of the dugout and he said to me, if you're picking a try of the season come the end of this campaign, that was it, no question.
Don't think too many people would dare argue with Peter Fox, but it was a sensational effort. And let's be fair, the players of the big league this season have produced some magnificent tries, and none more so than that.
And remember the conditions that he had to run through. We talked about his strength earlier, and he certainly displayed it then. But they've lost the marbles a little bit there. Not standing square at the play of the ball. The hooker, Trevor Clark, the guilty man. There you see it. It pushed Derek Fox out of the way. You must stand directly behind each other. Referee David Campbell, and two to choose from.
Dean Sampson using all his strength, but he loses the ball, and Roy Powell has it for Bradford Northern. The crowd here at Odsal know that they have an important week ahead of them next week. Wigan twice, here on Tuesday, next Friday at Central Park, live and exclusive on Sky, 7 o'clock, the game that will decide the title. And there's a little short shot right from Sampson. That's going to be a penalty, Bradford. And Bradford knows, Steve-O, they've got to win here tonight to make next week viable.
Well, if Castleford continue to play like that, they probably will. This was absolutely silly play by Sampson, right in front of the referee, Campbell. Okay, look at that. Oh, come on. Paul Dixon received that punch.
And immediately he is being substituted, Dean Sampson, been taken off.
And rightly so. John Joyner, the Castleford coach, would not be impressed with that. Especially at a time when Bradford are clawing their way back into this game. Only 2 points adrift. You do not give away silly penalties like that. The tails are well and truly up on the Bradford side now.
Kettridge on then for Castleford. Bradford in possession. Not only did they give away the penalty, they surrendered so much territory in conditions like this. It was easy yards for Bradford. Here's Hamer. Tackled by Kettridge. The two until that moment with the cleanest jerseys on the field. Fox to Heron. Heron trying to engineer something, the veteran standoff. Seen it, done it all before. Powell dropped that one. But for mine, Powell was standing and facing his own line when he dropped that.
Did the ball go forward? Well, it came. Yes, it is. He lost control of it. Even the matter that it hit his own leg, it still classed as a knock-on because the ball was being projected forward.
The ball comes back on Bradford's side again, though. They've got out of jail there. Heron picks up the pieces for them once more. 2 points the gap. Hamer in possession, the fresh legs. Good tackle by Chris Smith again, with a bit of help from Lee Crooks. Trevor Clark is the dummy half. Keeps the movement coming this way. That's Dixon. Kettridge nick out. Bring him down.
This is where a little run round, a little bit of a jink.
All strength from Medley. That's how close Bradford are. Fox to Powell. Powell had to apply the brakes before he was crunched by Kettridge. Clark, it's on the last tackle. Fox stabs it through. The danger's swallowed up.
Beautiful little kick from Fox there. There's nothing much that Mike Ford could do about that. No chance of trying to get up on these slippy conditions. He was quite happy to just defuse that. Will be a drop out from underneath the sticks. Bradford regaining possession. They really have their tails up.
Middleton in conditions like this doesn't get any length on it at all. It's with Dixon now. Back comes another wave of Bradford attacks with Hamer. They're back. 4 tackles to go and they're so close to the line. Clark. Here's Fairbank. Fairbank trying to use his strength to drag himself to that line. Just a metre short. Fox. A good ball! And Summers! Castleford hold their heads in dismay. But Neil Summers, the fullback, chiming into the line to support that attack. He took it at pace and shot over the line.
With a name like Fox, you've got to be crafty. Look at the dummy there. They expected the kick, and they held the ball up. And Summers charging him from the fullback position. This was absolute superb play from Fox. He just held the ball, and Castleford held off. You can see Mike Ford complaining to his defence. They expected him to kick, and they held off. Look, you can see that Middleton was the man that was the culprit. And Neil Summers gleefully accepts the 4 points.
Neil Summers' try. Bradford have been behind for the past 51 minutes. They now lead. And if Derek Fox can kick this, which he has, they stretch the advantage even further. Fox, the try creator. Fox, the conversion scorer.
The little dummy from Fox, you can see Middleton running towards him, and look at the gap where the arrow is. And in goes the fullback, Neil Summers. Super try, well engineered by Derek Fox.
So Neil Summers keeps the Bradford title candle flickering.
Well, that's how Bradford scored their first try. They applied the pressure to Fox, expecting the kick. He dummied. They came up with their first try, and now it's Fox again.
Medley. 16-12. Bradford ahead 4-0 early on. And Hall. Have they hit the front at just the right time? The conditions get worse and worse.
The most important factor now for Bradford is that possession is so vital. They do not have to gamble now. They are in the driving seat.
That's a lovely crossfield kick from Fox. Newlove's after it. But well done, Ellis. And he slid almost out of play. Aquaplane towards the touchline. Great effort, though, this from Bradford and from Castleford.
It's amazing what a little talk at half-time can do. And obviously Peter Fox, we heard him interviewed just after the restart. And he said that he wanted a better kicking game. And he's getting that from Fox. Kicking into the corner, superb. The rain comes down torrentially.
It does indeed. This is Andy Hay. Last tackle for Castleford. It's been great effort, this from Bradford. Castle still deep in their own half. Crooks just kicks downfield, tries to relieve that pressure. Summers, the try scorer, will run it back at them. And with some venom too. Great ball out wide to Cornwall. Can Cornwall step inside Ford? Yes! Oh, Bradford! Cornwall! Try time! Four on Monday, one today, and the 4 points tonight, so priceless.
The deep kick from Lee Crooks, but I'm afraid the chasers weren't up to it. You can see they're very slow to get there, and by the time they are there, Neil Summers have got at full steam. They're held back on the inside there. Superb run from Summers. He draws the full back. Middleton has no chance with it there. And the big man Caudle, and that was not the best attempt from Mike Ford. A happy man, Gerald Caudle, underneath the post. The smile says it all.
Yes, Gerald Caudle, the Welsh international. Derek Fox just jogging back. He kicked one from out wide a few moments ago, and in dreadful rainy conditions from bang in front, he makes no mistake. It's 22-12, and it's so wet. Did you notice then the touch judge dropped his flag? That's how bad the conditions are at Odsal tonight. There's a mistake from Fox. Made a dive for the ball, knocked it on. But 22-12, the match has suddenly turned in Bradford's favour.
Fitness and strength. Quite a lot of people thought perhaps that Bradford may have doubts on their fitness. Well, it certainly hasn't shown tonight. A courageous fight back. Led, of course, by that wonderful break from that international centre, Paul Newlove. The tails are up. They were really flying. And look at that defence.
Richard Russell. This is Tony Smith. It's not over yet for Castleford, not by a long chalk. 15 minutes of this match to go. Here's Middleton. You can see that the conditions are getting worse by the second. Kettridge releases the pass to Russell.
That's Castleford's problem, Eddie, is that they've got to start gambling now. Time is running out for them.
Dabbed forward by Ford. Wheeled in by Newlove.
Ready well, didn't he, the big centre Newlove. Well backed up from Ford, backing up his own kick. Still in with a chance. He knows the importance as Mike Ford to get on with the game. Converted try, put them right back into it.
Ford in possession again. Now it's Blackmore. And there's our eye in the sky, and there will be a lot of very hot baths taken by the Sky camera crew tonight, believe me. Either that or they'll be absent with flu on Sunday. The most awful night of the year, but a significant night for Bradford. Kettridge for Castleford.
They're showing a lot of courage, aren't they, Bradford? both in attack and defence. They bounced back, but a better look inside this second half.
Here's Nick out. Can he engineer something here for Middleton?
What a great tackle from Trevor Clark, the hooker there.
They're attacking that corner, the ball dabbed through, and Caudle picks it up. Now people question Caudle's handling skills at times, but twice, once in defence there and once in attack, Caudle has been absolutely sure. And now Castleford have moved off the mark at the play of the ball, and it's Bradford's penalty to relieve the pressure.
Just over eagerness from number 6, Tony Smith. You can see there, both Smith and Ford not directly behind each other. No option with David Campbell to give away the penalty. Beautiful take from Caudle there. That was travelling quite at a lot of speed. And on these conditions, geez, talk about a slip catch.
What about the one he took for the try as well? It was one-handed, and he just wheeled it in.
There's in fine form, Caudle. Bradford now
with a bang, hasn't he, Caudle?
He certainly has.
This fella's had a great game, Fairbank. Penalty count, despite the awful conditions and the importance of this match, is very low. 7-4 to Bradford. Middleton collects it 10 metres from his own line. He's trapped though. Could chase that by Medley.
We keep saying it, but the kick is only as good as the chase. And we saw that Bradford scored their last try by the fact that Castleford were very slow to back up and really apply the pressure. But not from Bradford. They really are on song. And there'll be more of that, I'm sure, from their number 7, Derek Fox. And you can see the possession.
Can Castleford rescue this match? Remember, they want second spot behind whoever finishes champions. And there is snow in that rain, there's no doubt about that now. Summers is skipping through it. He's had a great game too, hasn't he? The full-back for Bradford tonight, Neil Summers.
Made a good fist of it, hasn't he? Really has switched around side from Bradford tonight. David Heron, the veteran, playing at standoff. Neil Summers, normally who plays in that position, back into the full-back position because of the suspended Dave Watson. It really has been a courageous effort from Bradford, hasn't it, this second half?
Hamer stopped midway inside the Castleford half of the field. Clark is there. Here's Fox. Dabs that one into the corner. It won't stay in the field of play.
Little right smile and tension on the face of the Bradford coach, Peter Fox. He knows perhaps that the minutes are ticking away. 2 vital points.
He will be thinking what might have been, won't he? Because they lost the 2 over Easter. They lost against Lee here as well. If they've just picked up something from those 3 matches, even 4 points, I mean, it would really have been a battle to the wire. But my word, this match tonight keeps them in the hunt, and those 2 games next week against Wigan, they are so vital.
Anything can happen, especially if we keep weather like this.
It's 6 to go here for Castleford. They're in possession with Blackmore. It's now going to be a scrum because Middleton couldn't hang on to that. And Castleford have made the greater number of mistakes, I think, in the handling tonight, Steve-O. That's been a difference too.
Well, they have in this second half. You could say a good player by Richie Blackmore. He tried to keep the ball alive. Simon Middleton, of course, having to go back into the full-back position.
So Bradford with the possession from the scrum, and they now make an error. Dave Heron. 10 minutes to go. I think the players of both sides looking forward to a nice warm bath, but Bradford perhaps more so than Castleford. It's a pretty picture, isn't it? 22-12 for them. Really does keep this big league championship bubbling along beautifully.
And it's amazing to think that Little Lee, they denied St Helens last season. Is it going to be that Lee have denied Bradford the championship as well?
Could be, couldn't it? Might all come down to points difference in the end. Neil Holding is warming up. Not a night to come off the bench, this, is it? With 8 minutes to go. That's good play from Crooks. Russell is the dummy half. This is Nick Howe. Ball turned back inside. Tony Smith trying to scamper forward. Good job that Roy Powell was there. He takes it to himself, does Tony Smith. Great defence again from Bradford. Heron and Summers leading the way. It was on the last tackle. This will be Bradford's turnover.
Really has been a highlight from Bradford this second half. Their defence is superb. Not so sure that Smith tapped that ball forward correctly, but either way, in these conditions, I'm sure David Campbell, the referee, allowing a little bit of latitude.
Hamer. Good run from Hamer.
He's done his job, hasn't he, since he came on. Fresh pair of legs, heavy conditions. Forwards have done well. So's this guy as well. Really has been a sensation since he came from Doncaster.
Yes, Carl Hall. 24 tries this season, but 18 of them for Doncaster, the leaders of the second division. Fox gets the ball away neatly. Oh, look at that, the way that was plucked out of the air by Powell. Here goes Powell. Skill from Powell and good defence from Chris Smith, who is then dragged over the line, but illegally.
Powell neat chip over. Then the young kid, Chris Smith, he did well there. Superb positioning.
Well, the referee's penalised Bradford for that, yet he's been allowing it to go on all night.
Especially in these conditions, he made the impact with a tackle and he slid over. Oh well.
Nick Howe. Last hurrah from Castleford, 10 points adrift. Converted try, and they're right back in it again in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Blackmore dropped that. Knock on. Oh.
Anything can happen though, Eddie. Just like a bar of soap, really.
On comes Neil Holding, and 36-year-old David Heron goes off. Big effort from Heron tonight. Big effort from all the Bradford players. He gets a pat on the back from Nigel Stevenson. And so Neil Holding comes on. And first touch for Holding.
The experience there showing from Neil Holding, the substitute. There was no way in the world he was going to pass that football. He was going to get involved straight away. Safety first. Experience showing.
Remember, he came on in similar circumstances at Salford not too long ago. He made a real contribution, but there's a little knock on by Bradford, and it's going to be a scrum to Castleford. Now, can they attack from deep as Bradford did early on? Middleton can't go anywhere. Holding with the tackle, finished off by Dixon. Nick out to tackling Clark.
Just proves to you that if you move up quickly against this classy Castleford outfit, especially out wide, force them down the middle. They're wonderful, Castleford, when you allow them to run, but Bradford have not allowed them to do that this second half.
St. John Ellis goes round the back of Nick Howe. It wasn't obstruction. 3 bring him down inside the last 5 minutes now. Bradford on course for their first league double over Castleford for a while, but here's Chris Smith. Tearing down the wing, after him, Dio Powell, good tackling. 2 youngsters, 21-year-old Powell, 18-year-old Smith.
That's back to 6. Hit a Bradford arm. Can Castleford stage a remarkable comeback?
Nick Howe, they've got men out wide. If the ball can be shipped out there, this is Smales. Nick Howe called for the inside ball. I think they should have gone the other way, but the players took their own choice. Crooks. Good ball round the corner to Smith. That was Crooks at his best. Smith releases the pass. Morrison's there. Ball out wide, Ford. Up into the air, looping pass. St. John Ellis, and that's the club record try for St. John Ellis. 35 tries now this season for Ellis, and that's probably one of the simplest he's scored. From 3 metres out, he simply skipped his way over the line.
Great play. They did not throw the towel in. Look at this experienced pass from Crooks. Round the man. He does it so often with the man, Tony Smith. Right on the inside. The defence is split. Morrison did the right thing. Long ball out wide. Super play. And good inside run. Nice step. St. John Ellis in. The club record is his. He's had a tremendous season.
Certainly has St. John Ellis. 35 tries now. The leading scorer in the game. And Lee Crooks, this is an important conversion. 2 from 2. This one, 20 metres out, 10 metres in from touch. If anyone can kick them, Crooks can. Oh, he's hit the post. Well, how important that might be. The gap, 6 points.
You can't believe it, Lee Crooks. But look at this. This is excellent play. Tony Smith trails him all season and sets up the try, and there's still a glimmer of hope. Bradford were on the line there. Nice step inside. He's had a top season, St. John Ellis. Can Castleford at least scrape home for a draw?
Well, they've got 2 and a bit minutes to do it, haven't they? Plus stoppages. Hang on to your hats here. We're in for a great finish. Dixon's gone off, by the way, and he's been replaced by Adam Greenwood, who's returned. Andy Hay with that run. They're keeping the ball alive, Castleford. He is forward.
Full credit to this Castleford outfit. They've not thrown the towel in. They've tried to keep this ball alive, and they'll still continue to do so. That's got to be a penalty. Not happy, isn't Crooks? Oh, he's hit him. He's lost the marbles. Frustration shown on the face there. Disappointed with it. He argues with the referee, David Campbell. He said, I never heard you say shout. That was a tackle, but the referee had already called for the penalty, and that we can do without within our game. Frustration, no doubt about it, and he's not happy.
He doesn't believe he was tackled the first time. Let's have a look. Here it is.
Well, did the man have a hand on him? And I don't think he did. He wasn't happy about that, and you can see him as already having a few words to the referee. Well, it can be tough, this game, in more ways than one. He feels he's been badly done to. A split decision going against Castleford.
And so Derek Fox has the opportunity with this penalty to seal this vital win for Bradford Northern. He's kicked well all night. This time he misses. So Castleford is still alive, but the important thing is, from a Bradford point of view, they will get the ball back from the dropout.
Right, make sure you stop clock right, yeah.
Well, they took the gamble of trying to go for the short 10-metre kick. It was not the best effort.
And the ball didn't go 10 metres in these conditions, and that's a penalty from bang in front.
It just dropped in the mud heap there. And I'm afraid Martin Kettridge just could not make it get the 10 metres. And when it fails to do that, the penalty is given to the opposition. The time is being eaten up.
And from bang in front, just 20 metres out, you'd back Derek Fox to kick this one. And this will seal it. Points for Bradford, courtesy of the boot of Derek Fox. 2 extra points on the league ladder for Bradford, courtesy of this win here tonight. They maintain the pursuit of the big league title.
They still apply the pressure to this Wigan side, and that should be a penalty to Castleford. the ball was taken before it had gone over the 10 metres. That's the other aspect of the rule. You can see from the kick-off that Newlove comes into the area before the 10 metres. The ball has to travel that before either side can accept the ball. Well, could this be so vital in as much that that penalty before that Fox has kicked could prove to be the decider?
Could indeed, couldn't it? Bradford defending now against this run from Crooks, who really is gritting his teeth for the closing seconds here. Russell trying to duck under the challenges. He has done. My word, he's so close. And that penalty from Fox could be the difference between the sides, but Mike Ford drops it. And Bradford now will surely play out time and play out their 6 tackles. They don't need to, it's all over. And Bradford Northern goes second in the big league table. Their first league double over Castleford for 11 years. How richly they have deserved it. Second in the table now, level on points with Wigan and Warrington. Wigan, the visitors here on Tuesday, and then it's the big showdown at Central Park in 7 days' time. But Bradford keep their hopes alive. They have won here by 24 points to 16. Cabin stall next week with Bradford facing Wigan twice. They have maintained their pursuit of the championship. 24 points to 16 winners. Dio Powell, Paul Newlove, Neil Summers and Gerald Caudle, the scorers. Let's hear from 2 of them. Paul Newlove, but first the Welshman, Gerald Caudle.
Gerald, that was a game you had to win and you struggled to win it.
Yeah, that's right. The conditions as well, and Cass played well. But, you know, it was a game we had to win, and we've done it.
It was all on in the second half, wasn't it? What was the message when you came out?
Well, we just had to dig in and tackle a bit better than what we did in the first half, and just try and move the ball.
And despite the conditions, I think there were some cracking tries scored. Now, there's going to be a debate whether you or Paul Newlove got the try of the game. Yours wasn't bad.
I think, well, my one was all right, but I think Newey was the better one.
This keeps you in the hunt. Do you think it's you've left it too late?
Well, obviously Wigan are back in the driving seat now, and all we've got to do is, when we play them here, beat them, and then go to Central Park then and try and do the same there. Thanks, Gerald. Well, Paul, Gerald says yours was better. What do you remember about that try?
All I can remember really is the ending when I put the ball down. I'm glad that the line came to near, so because it seemed I was running for ages.
Do you realise how far you got to go?
No, I didn't. All I see our defenders coming towards me. I was just palming them off, and luckily I got over.
Given the conditions, you must have found the one dry stretch on the pitch.
Maybe so. I think it would a bit buggy when I started off, but like I said, further out wide, it was a bit greener.
Now this might, as I just said to Gerald, might just be a bit too late. Do you see it that way, or do you think you've still got a chance?
No, it's not too late. If we win all his own games, Wigan's got some hard games. They've got to play Castleford yet, and he's the top side, and Cass might turn Wigan over. So all we've got to do is keep winning.
No, they won't be throwing the towel in here at Odsal, there's no doubt about that. The match facts tell the story of a gruelling encounter. 152 tackles apiece, scrums 8 all, penalties 9-6 in Bradford's favour. The handling errors, there were 25 of them, and Castleford made 15. And it was Bradford's first half, Castleford's second in terms of possession, but without a doubt, Bradford's second half in terms of points on the board. So Bradford move into second place on points difference behind the league leaders, Wigan. A delighted coach, I'm sure, Peter Fox with Bill Arthur now.
Peter, that result really does set things up for 2 games against Wigan now.
Well, it certainly brought us back into the act, and everybody writes you off, you know. They suddenly put you top of the pile, and they're quick to snipe at you and knock you off the pedestal and put the boot in if they can. And the lads just had to do it on their own. We can't do any more. The coaching staff have done wonderful this season. My assistants, they've all performed well, and we left it to the lads. It was character. We said they're to show character and some pride, and that's what they're playing for. 2 points. Money is one thing, pride is another thing. Pride is the one that comes out on top in the end.
You were up out of the dugout when Paul Newlove scored that try. How do you rate that?
Absolutely one of the finest tries I've seen Newell have scored, and believe me, I've seen plenty. I've seen them since his inception. But that was an absolutely marvellous try. The men he had to beat, the speed he used down the touchline side, and magnificent player. They don't come better.
It's the sort of try that can inspire a side, isn't it?
Yes, the thing was, we came out at half-time, as I told you at half-time, we're coming out to move the ball wider and get them running, kicking the ball into the corner flag and putting them under pressure. We did that successfully. And of the two teams who are playing football, this Castleford side are noted for playing good football. I think we've shown that we can play good football as well today.
If only you'd kicked your goals against Hull.
You can't look back, it's gone, it's done with. And if you say Hull Kingston beat at the beginning of the season, we overcome that to stay top of the league most of the year. Hull beat us and Leigh beat us. 3 teams that beat us that didn't expect to beat us possibly. And everybody gets on his back and says we can't do this, we can't do that. Look at all the rest of the games that we've won and the points that we've scored, and people will realise we've almost got a very good side.
Can you still win the title?
We can, of course we can, but it's a mammoth task. I wouldn't like to give anybody the task to do that. Wigan must still be favourite, but we've got them to come to Bradford first. And if our lads perform like we know they can perform, Wigan are in for a very tough game, and then we've got to Central Park, and then we'll see whether we can win the title.
There's the updated table. Bradford have moved up to join Wigan and Warrington at the top. 40 points for all 3 sides. Wigan with the 1 game in hand on Bradford. That will be sorted out on Tuesday night here at Odsal. And they have 2 in hand on Warrington. 40 points, though. I wonder whether, like last season, this big league title will come down to points difference at the end of the day. An awful night here at Odsal. I just wonder whether this pitch is going to recover in time for Tuesday night, when Wigan are the visitors. And Steve-O, if it's muddy, anything can happen, as has been proved tonight.
Yeah, most certainly. I think that Wigan will hopefully hope that this game perhaps will be called off, because in these conditions, as you mentioned, anything can happen. Wigan are a talented side, we all know that. But I think Peter Fox would be very happy to find a Wigan outfit here in these conditions.
Well, he will have the prayer mat out, I'm sure, for dryness over the next few days. But just sit back and enjoy this try from Paul Newlove. Steve-O, he's world class.
No doubt about that. It was always a matter of the fact that strength would win the day. We said that they had to change things in the second half, get the ball out wide, get their defence right. But when you've got a man of this ability that can really lift the side, and that try ensured that Bradford knew that they can get out of the doldrums. It hasn't been the best weekend for them over Easter, but they came back.
And it lifted the rest of them, and Summers the next thing over for that one.
Oh, beautiful pass from Fox. They anticipated that he was going to kick. They just held off enough, and Summers just chiming in from the back line. Superb play.
And then whatever Gerald Caudle must have thought about that Paul Newlove try, he fancied writing a little bit of the script for himself. Watch the way he takes this pass one-handed here.
Yeah, but it was great play from Summers. The kick there from Castleford, you could see that the chasing wasn't as good as it had been in the first half. They were a little bit slow to get up there. It was allowed Neil Summers to get the momentum, and you got a big, strong wingman like Gerald Caudle. He really did run well. It was strength on both accounts, both on Newlove and Caudle's part, and that really took them all the way to a victory.
The big question I'm sure that people will be asking tonight, Steve-O, is can Bradford do it now? They've got Wigan here Tuesday, they've got Wigan at Central Park Friday, and you can see that one, by the way, with us on Sky Live and exclusive. It will come down to those two, won't it? They are the two that will decide this title, I think.
Well, we've been saying that for quite some time, and while a lot of people think perhaps that it could be in the hands of points difference, I think Bradford now, they know that their destiny is in those 2 games. If they can win them, then anything can happen. Peter Fox, well, he's always just hanging in there, hanging in. They've been doing that all season, but they showed guts and determination, especially in the second half, and quite frankly, they deserved a good victory tonight, and they have really pulled themselves by the socks back into championship contention.
Did you notice when Bill Arthur asked Peter Fox the question whether they could go on and win the title, he took a deep breath, didn't he, before he answered? I thought he was about to explode, actually, but he bit his tongue and he said the right thing.
Well, Peter realises that anything can happen, and we've discussed the fact that it's going to be heavy conditions. Wigan won't fancy coming to Odsal Stadium in these conditions. They know it's going to be a tough encounter. But this Bradford side, they are cock-a-hoop, and that is what they wanted. Peter Fox has done a marvellous job in the half-time break. They were down 12-6, and when they can come back and show guts and determination, then anything can happen, and Wigan are going to be in for a real hammering, perhaps.
We shall see, and of course you'll be able to follow it all with us here on Sky. Sunday we'll have a look at Wigan. They're up at New Craven Park for the match against Hull Kingston Rovers. Rovers must win, otherwise they might go down. Wigan must win now to maintain their challenge for the big league title. And can we wait for this one? Next Friday, live and exclusive with you from Central Park for Wigan Bradford, the rematch. Get down here to Aldsall on Tuesday night for the first instalment. Join us next Friday for the decider, perhaps. Boots and all on Thursday. We'll have a look back to Tuesday here at Aldsall and look forward to Central Park on Friday, and boots and all at